Good morning, Tina O here from Tina O Life. And if you are tuning in, it's because this is about your sacred ritual, sacred story, and having a spiritual practice. So you're in mine, which means I'm a little bit messier. This is going to be a bit of I'm actually doing it right now. Which means I'm going to put my phone down right here. I can still see you. So, welcome to my kitchen, my little cabin by the sea. So this is a conversation about having a spiritual practice. And your spiritual practice is, what I invite you to consider is that a spiritual practice is about the practice of listening. The practice of connecting to your understanding of God, and if God wigs you out, which rightly so, that word can be a bit like, what? Oh no, dogma. Oh no, rules. Hold on, I'm coming back. Oh no. Oh no. Someone's going to tell me who I'm supposed to be or how I'm supposed to be, right? So, but your sacred practice, if you think of it as, I don't know, it's not about the name of God. It's not about whether there even is a God, frankly. Like, who are we to say that for anybody? But what we know is that whatever, like whether there is, whether there isn't, having a sacred time in your day for listening and connecting to something other than, the mind in your head is nourishing. It's a way to listen. It's a way to be. I wish I was a meditator. I'm not. I'm just so not. Hold on, my finger's in front of the camera. I'm not a meditator. So for me, my sacred practice involves reading and writing. And every morning I get up somewhere around 5:30. You might have a sacred practice at 2 o'clock in the afternoon where you are going for a run, working out, sitting on whatever. Maybe it's your lunch hour. Maybe you go to your car. Maybe you're a light worker and you clear the grid. Maybe you're, a high exec and you just need to go to the roof of the building and just be for a minute. My sacred practice has 3 fires in it. 1, my coffee fire. Now I also have a propane stove, so I often light that fire. That's fire number 1. Fire number 2 is the actual fire. So now you're in my living room, my little cabin by the sea. And I actually have my fire going already, because otherwise we'd be here for 40 minutes. But here's my fire. So I actually light a fire. And then my 3rd fire is my candle. It's my gratitude candle. And my gratitude candle, I light. And as I light it, I say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And for the next 30 minutes, usually, maybe an hour, if I get into a real jag of some kind, I will pull out one of my books. So I've got a number of books going right here. This is my little book pile. Of course, I have my Bible. And for me, the Bible and the Jesus story represents the reality that we live on a planet. Because while I respect that we are energy and we are stardust and we are the unknown, that we also live on a human planet and on this human plane, and relating to each other is really important. And the Jesus story, a beautiful myth, and I don't mean myth as in made up, that's not what myth means. The beautiful myth that is the Bible and the Jesus story teaches us how to live on this planet with each other. It's the greatest story I know of compassion, the greatest story I know of being with people. So that's one of my books. And I actually usually just go to what's called the liturgical calendar. And I pull out the conversation, I'll put a link here, and I pull out the scripture for that week for people who go to church and read whatever that scripture says. I have another book in here. Oh, I don't have it down here right now. Oh, here it is. I have another book. Oh, I have Women Who Run with the Wolves, which is a book of myths. And if there's something specific that's kind of rolling in my head, I'll pull out a myth from that book and I'll read that. Another book I'm reading right now is Lives of Unforgetting by Stan Lidor. And it's about myth. It's actually very science fiction inspired. It's about the hidden stories in plain sight. Also, I will read, I've got a beautiful book here, Richard Wagame's Embers. One Ojibwe's Meditations. I'll read this book. So I will read something, for about, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, just something. And usually what will happen in that space is something will shimmer, some words will shimmer off the page for me. And when they pop up, it's like I can hear them. And I think, oh, okay, so this is the meditation. This is the meditation for me. And then what happens for me in my sacred time is then I write, because I don't go to blank space. That's not where my brain goes. In order for me to get to blank space, I have to dump out whatever's ruminating in there. So as I read, something shimmers, pops up, and then that is my exploration. That's my curiosity. That's the thing that I write into. And I might write poetry, I might write a letter. I have a dear friend whom I love, like I love on a whole other plane of being I love. And I will write him a letter sometimes about what's happening. I have a wisdom circle. Sometimes I'll write to them. Sometimes I'll write to me. Sometimes I'll write a blog post. Sometimes I'll write on Instagram, like something just sort of grabs me. But either way, I will pour out the inspiration that hit me from the piece that I read. And I'll know it's done because the story inside of me stops. It's kind of like I heard what I was meant to hear. I happen to hear by expressing, like has to come out of me. So this conversation I'm having with you about your sacred time, your spiritual practice, is giving yourself the nourishment of connection. The nourishment and connecting to whatever it is that brings you peace, joy, and a sense of home, a sense of belonging, a sense of resting. If you've done core story work with me, you know that there are 12 core stories that I've listened to. There might be more, but so far all I've found is 12. And it's listening into that medicine place of your core story. And as you listen, you really are feeding yourself that medicine. It also, in the practice place of it, eventually you get to a place where you actually start to trust things. You actually start to trust your impulses and not those, reactionary impulses like run, although that's a big one too. But I mean like wisdom, like trust the impulses of wisdom that are with you when you actually can rest into them. And you begin to settle, lower all the different layers of our psyche. And you'll get to know all the different layers until you hit that resting place where you actually just stop nestling in. You are nestled. And out of that place, the emergence of what's next for you, or what is for you in that day, arrives. Oh, there's my coffee. I'm Tina O from Tina O Life, and this is a conversation about your spiritual practice where you connect to your understanding of the good old, I don't know, where you are nourished, where you come home, where you feel loved, safe, and at rest, so you can hear the guidance that is always there for you. And you never, ever, ever have to feel lost, ever, ever, like as a state of being. We can feel lost as the catalyst to listen, but not lost as a, oh my God, I'm so lost. I'm Tina O from Tina O Life. Thanks for listening. This is your spiritual practice, and you just saw mine. 3 fires.